She was the first and the only woman to rule as the queen of the Kingdom of Hawaii.
1895, Honolulu, Hawaii. After her overthrow by American businessmen, Queen Liliuokalani was arrested by the provisional U.S.-led government and placed under house arrest.
Latter-day Saint missionaries arrived on the Hawaiian Islands in the 1850s, and in contrast to their Christian missionaries, who arrived in 1820, the Latter-day Saints helped to preserve the Hawaiian language and culture.
That first night of my imprisonment was the longest night I have ever passed in my life. It seemed as though the dawn of day would never come. To compose was as natural to me as to breathe. My ancestors were particularly gifted as lovers of poetry and music, and yet there are few, if any, written compositions of the music of Hawaii, except those published by me.
In her 20s, Liliuokalani went door to door to raise money to build Hawaii's first hospital. Queen's Hospital opened in 1860 to combat diseases brought by foreigners such as smallpox and influenza, which had decimated almost 85% of the native Hawaiian population.
Liliuokalani started to realize that her brother's cabinet was filled with very corrupt businessmen.
In 1887, white businessmen forced her brother the king to sign a new constitution that weakened the monarchy and removed the right of native Hawaiians to vote unless they were landowners. It became known as the Bayonet Constitution.
The constitution she was putting forward was one that would have restored voting rights to native Hawaiians and would have increased her powers as a constitutional monarch.
But the white businessmen and politicians were already plotting her overthrow.
Queen Liliuokalani became the target of what can only be described as a vicious smear campaign against her in the U.S. press. The San Francisco Examiner described her as a black pagan queen who wanted nothing short of absolute monarchy.
I would undertake anything for the benefit of my people. It is for them that I would give my last drop of blood.
President Grover Cleveland agreed the Queen should be reinstated. But Congress rejected that recommendation, and on July 4, 1894, American businessman Sanford Dole, whose family soon founded Dole Food Company, declared himself Hawaii's president and placed the Queen under house arrest for 8 months.
The overthrow caused trauma not only of a political sort, but a spiritual and an ethical sort.
She spent the rest of her life advocating for native Hawaiian rights and culture.
She passed in 1917, giving all of her monies to the children of Hawaii. You've got Gandhi, Mandela, King, all of these leaders. But before all of them, you had a woman in the far-flung Pacific who is a leader for all in terms of peace, social justice, and righteous action for her people.
Never cease to act because you fear you may fail. The true secret is to know your own worth. It will carry you through many dangers.
An excerpt from the book The Saints Who Built America reads as follows. The former queen had many friends among the Latter-day Saints, and was baptized and confirmed a member of the church in 1906 by friend and counselor, Elder Abraham Kaliamoha Fernandez. Liliuokalani had understandably been suspicious of religious groups among her people due to the actions of Christian conspirators against herself, her brother, and her people. For this reason, she sent Fernandez as a trusted aide to monitor the Latter-day Saints and discover their ambitions. Acting as a spy, Fernandez came to love the Latter-day Saints and would soon join the church himself. On one occasion, in 1895, Fernandez's 19-year-old daughter, Adelaide, lay dying. She was miraculously healed by Peter Kealaka Ihonua, a Latter-day Saint elder. From then on, there was trust between the Queen and the Saints, who encouraged Latter-day Saint church meetings in the palace. She also received a priesthood blessing from Elder George Buchanan. While under house arrest, Liliuokalani would pen her famous song, Aloha Oi. a love song adapted by many artists of the 20th century, including Bing Crosby, Elvis Presley, and Les Paul. Her legacy remains today a queen who cared for her people and acted nobly and true to herself while facing injustice and loss. And she was truly a saint of the latter days. You can read more about her and other such figures in the book The Saints Who Built America.